Good evening to anyone tuning in. This is the Backmarkers Racing League ARCA series. It runs on Thursday nights here. We are at Nashville tonight. So we pick up the action 29 laps in at 113. And Jacob Bradley is firmly in the lead with about a third of a second gap over Randy Bechdel. Devin Jack, who is up 12 spots from his qualifying position, sitting in third place. Blake Hoppy looks like he's sitting in fourth, battling there with Michael Gudger, who won on Tuesday night in the Truck Series. So Devin Jack and then Corey Harville in sixth place are your two big movers for tonight. Looks like we had some guys who started up higher and have fallen back. Nick Seraph, Mike Lemieux, who are doing battle right now, and Troy Nissen down there in 16th. Nathan Gentry is back 14 spots, so he's might have had some issues during the race, so we'll have to check in on him in a little bit. But as of right now, the most exciting battle on the track might be that one for the lead here, so we'll watch that for a little bit here. Is Bechdel on the attack, trying to keep Jacob Bradley in his sights. Jacob Bradley obviously is super quick and probably favored to win this race, but we'll see what Randy can do. I believe Randy won last time out at Atlanta. I'll have to double check that, but looking pretty good here tonight. I don't know if I can pull up our starting grid here. Might not be available since we tuned in late. But anyway, so yeah, watching this battle between Bechdel and Jacob Bradley there. He's losing a little bit of ground. It was a third of a second. Now it's back to half a tenth. Devin Jack there in that 49. We're used to seeing him in the 17, but he's now in the 49 machine. Let's see if we can get a look at his pit lane sim racing car here. Looks pretty cool. Oh, it looks like Blake Hoppy's under attack from Michael Gudger here. Gudger a little slippery out of two there. So Nathan Gentry did make his pit stop. So he did come in. He was the first one to pit with about 35 laps on these tires. So let's go on board Michael Gudger here, so he's seeing. These guys are about 5 seconds behind the leader. Bechdel closing in a little bit more now the gap goes back up. Johnny Rapp's one of these guys that I kind of expected to be a little bit higher up. He's actually running behind Corey Harville and Michael Gudger right now. And he's under attack from Robert Probst. Check in there with Sean Johnson, Mr. Moonpie running the DuPont throwback scheme. Nicholas Moffat back to his familiar Cartoon Network car. Daryl Mays is in the 05 tonight. So Daryl Mays was really, really quick on Tuesday. I think he ended up 6th. He finds himself just outside the top 10 here. And then Sam Stoner, who was in the booth with me on Tuesday night along with Robert, he's hanging out down in 12th position. So a lot of really fast guys trying to make their way around this racetrack. Bechdel is closed right up behind Jacob Bradley. So I have to think that their tires have probably really started to fall off. It's hard to get a look at that from outside the car, but if you go in, maybe we'll go on board with the helmet cam here. see what he sees. Jacob really gets into that corner really well. Looks like Nicholas Moffitt has also pitted, so he's looking to jump some spots here. So I suppose, based on this these early pit stops from Nathan and Nicholas Moffitt, that this will be a 2-stop race. So breaking this into 40-lap chunks, but Jacob Bradley is probably going to try and stretch this to a 1-stop. Bechdel still right on the back of Jacob Bradley. See if we can get a look at maybe how these guys have let's see, time delta here is what I'm looking for. Okay, that's our dash rate. Time delta is not battle box. Trying to see if we could get some interesting stats, but I suppose not. We have our pit strategy here, so these guys are all still on their original set of tires. So Jacob Bradley, Randy Bechdel, both up a spot. Nathan Gentry down. Looks like he qualified 4th. Alright, so still no other pit stops. I don't know if anyone else is going to pit here. Trying to look back here and see if there's any other battles going on. Looks like the battle between Seraph and Lemieux is pretty good. That does not look that close on the screen here. Go back to Samuel Stoner, Sean Johnson. Oh, here we go. We got a whole gaggle of cars here, led by Robert Brobst. So Robert Brobst has a hard-charging Daryl Mays right behind him. On board with Daryl Mays here. See, Robert gets into the corner real well. Then Daryl's definitely got the better exit. Is he going to try him here? Oh yeah, Robert's still. I don't know if maybe he's cooking that right front tire when he does that. Whoa, gets a little wobbly. Oh, he gets really wobbly, and Daryl Mays there taking the spot. He'll jump up into 8th place. Sam Stoner's coming right with him. Meanwhile, Sean Johnson, Peter Stewart back there. Moffitt is, of course, a lap down after his pit stop. Troy Nissen enters the pit lane, so let's take a look at him. So he's in the number 19. If we can get a better look at him. Take a look at this pit stop here. Oh, Randy Bechdel is real close to Jacob Bradley. Sorry, we have to switch back to this. And looks like Sam Stoner there has gotten past Daryl Mays and Robert Probst. So I don't know if something back there happened to them. Let's take a look at this here. Take a look at the replay here. Robert goes just a little high into one. Sam's able to make the pass, and it looks like maybe Daryl gets high too. So they're both up in the marbles. Daryl might actually hit the wall here. No, he keeps it off, but Sam soldiers past. Bechdel still doing what he needs to do to stay right behind Jacob Bradley. I'm sure he's thinking, how can I jump him in the pit stop cycle? Obviously there is a little bit of a draft effect here. So that's perhaps how he's able to keep touch, but on these like super speedways, it's so hard to get a run into the corner behind the guy because of the dirty air off the cars. The car just wants to push up. So Bechdel is in a good spot here. So what else is going on here? Sean Johnson, he got himself around Robert Probst. Let's go back to our TV here. He's got Robert Probst and Peter Stewart all over him. Let's see if we could zoom out a little bit here. There we go. So Peter Stewart makes his way under Robert Probst. And it looks like he was able to make that pass. So looking up the track a little bit, you saw Nicholas Moffitt there getting around Sam Stoner now. Nicholas Moffitt is trying to see how many laps into his run he is. Let's look at our I can't see, that's just for the top guys. Let's see. His lap was 37 when he pitted, so he's been on these tires for almost 20 laps. Jacob Bradley there continuing to hold off Randy Bechdel, and looks like that number 19, Troy Nissen's going to overtake both of them because he is on those fresher tires. And Bradley pits. Bradley really gets it sideways going to the pits, and let's see what he can do here. So he comes in. Randy Bechdel, I reckon, is probably going to pit this lap because he saw what Jacob Bradley did, and he's going to try and duplicate that that effort. But he's got to be careful because he's got Nissen right. Oh, so he's going to have to wait a lap because Troy, yeah, Troy wasn't going to let him by. So Jacob Bradley's already out. He just exits the pits. So it's up to Randy to see what he does. Daryl Mays is pitted. Peter Stewart, Sam Stoner, a lot of these guys, they've all pitted. So your top 7 on the leaderboard there have not pitted. So Bechdel continues to stay out. It's an interesting call. I guess his plan is to maybe split it evenly, but that you're past halfway at this point. So obviously this will be a one-stop race. Devin, Jack, Blake Hoppy here. It's sort of close together. Trying to see if there's any. This is Daryl Mays coming out of the pits. Nicholas Moffitt there, so who's on those old tires now, or on the new tires, excuse me, and now Jacob Bradley's on the new tires. Michael Gudger is in 5th spot right now, and he's about to get blasted by Jacob Bradley. So Jacob continues his march forward. So we'll have to see what Bechdel does. Bechdel's in. Here we go. Alright, so let's see if we can see the track map. Yeah, here we go. So Bechdel's in. Jacob Bradley is coming out of turn 2 right now. Heading down the backstretch. So Bechdel pulls into his pit. So he's in the front, so maybe he was the pole sitter. Let's see. And yeah, here comes Jacob Bradley, so he will jump Bechdel. Bechdel's just coming out right now, so Jacob Bradley barrels into turn 1. There you go, went right there up in the top of your screen. So Bechdel actually is going to fall. So Nicholas Moffitt there, interestingly enough, he is actually running behind Bradley, and so he was the one who pitted 20 laps ago, and he finds himself now in 2nd place ahead of Randy Bechdel after the pit stops will cycle through. So that's really interesting. Gudger decided to pit right here. He's going to take all 4. Blake Hoppy, Devin Jack doing battle for the lead right here, but they're, of course, they have not pitted. Corey Harville looks like he pits. Michael Gudger's left the pit lane, so let's see where Michael Gudger's going to end up. He's coming up behind Johnny Rapp. Johnny Rapp pitted 5 laps ago, so he's actually made his way up. I don't know if he's going to be able to challenge Randy Bechdel here. So Nathan Gentry there in that Ford Chevrolet. So Blake Hoppy, Devin Jack continue to lead. They have a 15-second gap over Nick Seraph, who is yet to pit, and then Jacob Bradley. Jacob Bradley's got appears to be a 5-second gap over Nicholas Moffitt. Bechdel really hurt himself. I don't know if it was just staying out on those old tires. He's going to have to hope that that advantage is going to be enough. He pitted 4 laps after Jacob Bradley. So his gap to Bradley right now is 5 seconds. So I don't think he's going to be particularly happy with that. Oh, squeezes under Nicholas Moffitt there. So many of these Backmarkers races now have been just no cautions whatsoever, and it's made the races a little boring from the perspective of the viewer. Although when the pit stop cycle through, that's probably the most exciting part. But otherwise, the gaps tend to spread out a little bit. Watching that gap from Bradley to Bechdel, it's still 5.5 seconds. Devin Jack is in, so he finally waves the white flag. Blake Hoppy's probably just going to run the tank dry at this point. He is in. Blake Hoppy is in. So it leaves Nick Seraph out as the only one who is not pitted. So he's trying that alternate strategy, but he's going to be overtaken by all these guys here in a few laps. So looking at like Nicholas Moffitt here, Nicholas Moffitt's doing a good job of his. Say he's just been caught by Johnny Rapp. Johnny Rapp's got 18 lap newer tires than him, so that's going to be an easy pass for 52. And where does Blake? All right, so Blake is in right now. Let's see how he's already cycled back to 7. Let's see how much further he falls. Obviously hoping for that caution. So Daryl Mays has made his way back up to 8th spot, looking good. So we're going to check in on Robert Brepes, who he's battling with for a few laps there. We got a good battle here. We got Devin Jack down there in 13th. So Devin Jack, who pushed the envelope on the pit window, he's now trying to get past some of the guys who are on older tires, running further back. So he was running 3rd for most of this race. For him to be 12th, about 15 seconds off the podium. So not what he wanted. So Jacob Bradley, Randy Bechdel, Johnny Rapp, they're all running. And Michael Gudger, Sam Stoner, looks like there's a battle going on here. So it looks like Gudger just passed Sam Stoner. Gudger did pit 5 laps later than Sam Stoner. So I think Gudger probably will be able to get to Nicholas Moffitt. Nicholas Moffitt's on much older tires. Excuse me. See if I can look at the team affiliations here for the ARCA series, because I've not updated. Anything you see with team names on the screen here is not going to be accurate. All right, so Dumpster Fire Racing is still Devin Jack. Now, Nathan Gentry is not on the team, but it's Devin Jack and Sam Stoner. Evil Empire Sim Sport is Blake Hoppy, Danny Morris Jr. Payday is Randy Bechdel, Johnny Rapp, Jacob Bradley, and then Austin Holbrook is the 4th, who is not playing tonight. So it is Payday 1, 2, 3 right now. Vintage, so that's Robert Brooks, Sean Johnson, Mike Lemieux, Michael Gudger. So they're still Vintage. Impact is still the Boyles brothers, Jackson Samsel, Peter Stewart. And then Tyler to Talent Racing is tonight only represented by Corey Harville. So some changes, but not a whole lot. But yeah, Payday, a familiar team to see up front in this series. They won the last 2 team championships. They've won the last 2 drivers championships. Of course, Jonathan Cofield now has moved on to other series. But Jacob Bradley making sure that they continue on top for the foreseeable future. And Michael Gudger looks like he just got past Nicholas Moffitt. Let's take a look at this pass here. This looks like coming out of 2. Kutcher's got that tire advantage, and there's just no chance that Moffitt's going to have anything for him. Let's take a look further back at the pack and see if any close battles. Looks like Nicholas Moffitt is into the pits again, so he's now, he was going to do the two-stop strategy. I don't think that was the way to go. I think he'll be kicking himself maybe for that. So Bechdel has closed the gap. So the gap was about 5 seconds, 4.5, 5 seconds. It's now down to 3.2. So we'll see how that winds down over the last 50 or so laps here. Seeing if there are any battles going on in the track right now. Is it Peter Stewart maybe in a battle with Sean Johnson here? We'll take a look at this one here. Honestly, for it to be lap 80 and these guys only be 18 seconds back does not seem too bad of a run. Bechdel closing in, so it was 3.2, it's now at 2.6. So we'll keep watching that. Randy Bechdel might be in good shape here for the win. We're gonna have to see if he can catch Jacob Bradley. Catching's one thing, passing's another. Johnny Rapp's kind of in no man's land. Maybe the two guys in front will crash into each other, and that'll be that. And then Johnny will get his first win finally. Hop into our broadcast booth. So yeah, Bechdel continuing to bring that gap down. Looks like Devin Jack, Blake Hoppy might be in a little bit of a battle here. This is going to be a good one here. We got Daryl Mays wants to be a part of this as well. So we got Devin Jack, who has really made his way up because he did pit late. I think he was back to 12th or 13th place. So he's probably got his sights set on that 4th spot. I don't know if he's got enough juice in his tank to. Blake Hoppy's gonna put an end to that. Blake Hoppy pitted on lap 67, Devin pitted on lap 66. So Blake Hoppy there is going to try and get around Sam Stoner there and then try and work his way up to Gudger. Yeah, those two have kind of dropped Daryl Mays. Daryl Mays was up there. check on Robert Groves back here. He's trying to make some progress on Mike Lemieux. But yeah, Robert not having maybe the best of days for him. I'm sure he expected to be a little bit further up. Oh, Devin Jack just got by Sam Stoner. Let's take a look at this battle here. So he's going. They both got by Sam Stoner. So now Blake Hoppy enters the top 5. He's going to go chase on after Michael Gudger. Is kind of a no man's land right now. There's a lot of bigger gaps that I'm seeing on the screen here that are, you know, it might only be like a second or two, but a second and a half on super speedway like this is an eternity. Take a look at that track now. Bechdell's continuing to close that gap down. It's now down to 179. Jacob Bradley had a little bit of lap traffic in the form of Nathan Gentry here. I see the P on my screen here, but I'm not sure who that is. Oh, that maybe is the pit out position. That's exactly what that is. John Johnson there hanging out in 11th. He's got a little ways to go to get to either the guy in front or the guy behind, so he can just kind of chill. So we are down to 25 laps to go. Caution free, I believe, so far, at least since I've started watching. Trying to see what other battles are going on here. Devin Jack certainly is not losing Blake Hoppy. But obviously Blake passed him a few laps ago, and I don't know if he's got enough to try and get back past him. Michael Gudger there. So Gudger was 11 seconds behind Bradley, so he's actually making progress on him, but I just don't think the gap is enough. So he did pitted 5 laps later than Bradley, and then Blake Hoppy pitted 7 laps later than Gudger. So Blake Hoppy was Nick Serif was the very last one to pit, but Blake Hoppy pitted on lap 67, so Blake Hoppy's not in the worst of spots right now. So he's 11 seconds back. He's got 22 laps to go. His last lap was a 31.8. Sorry, a 31.6. Jacob Bradley's was a 31.9. So Blake Hoppy definitely is the fastest guy on the track. It's just a matter of how much time can he make up. Oh, it looks like Troy Nissen enters the pits again. So Blake Hoppy's about to drop Michael Gudger here. We got a pass down here. Looks like Corey Harville took Daryl Mays for P8. We'll take you right back to that Blake Hoppy, Michael Gudger battle. So yeah, Daryl goes high, Corey goes low, and that's that. Let's go back live. Michael Gudger. Yeah, Blake Hoppy's right on his bumper. Gudger's really, really sideways. Blake says thank you very much. Man, I want to take a look. I want to take a look at that viewpoint from Michael, let's see Michael Gudger's viewpoint here. Can we go back a little bit? I want to see that. I want to see that slide. There we go. He's really fighting it. Look at that thing sliding out of turn 2. He's barely got the gas going. And now Devin Jack there looks to take 5th spot away from Gudger. So Blake Hoppy's still about 10 seconds behind. Beckdel's got 1.1 seconds to Jacob Bradley. So we're watching that battle. Bechdel is about to break the 1 second barrier with Jacob Bradley. Fortunately, there is no DRS here in the Backmarkers ARCA series, but there he goes, 0.98. Gudger and Devin Jack side by side through 3 and 4. Devin Jack's got the better exit. He's on his way. So Blake Hoppy actually looks like he's going to climb onto the podium here, I think. Because Johnny Rapp pitted 12 laps before him. So is that Rapp in front of him? No, that's Nick Seraph. Rapp's up the road a little bit. Seeing if I could get our usually there would be a driver number on this let's see. Driver details. Driver details. There we go. Got our driver number back there. So that helps a little bit. Jacob Bradley shows up as Bechdel right there, 51. So Johnny Rapp about to come under attack from Blake Hoppy. So we actually got some decent battles shaping up here. As Bechdel continues to close in on Jacob Bradley, but now, oh, that gap went up. He must have gotten loose. Yeah, Jacob Bradley's right there, and then Nathan Gentry's hanging on. Gentry must have just pitted. And Nathan Gentry pitted on lap 80, so he's got some fresher tires. This is him in the pits. But looking live, it looks like he's hanging with Jacob Bradley here. I don't know if that's helping or hindering the 51. Obviously, these guys are all in a chat together, so they're not going to do anything silly. So Blake Hoppy there continuing to close in on Johnny Rapp. You already who that battle is. Blake looking for a podium after an unfortunate incident in the ARCA Series race, or in the Truck Series race, excuse me, or in the ARCA Series, where he got turned by Sean Johnson into the outside wall. But he's looking good here, and he is about to take P3 from the last. Oh, they get side by side, little contact. Johnny can only do so much. Oh, he's fighting back on the outside. Blake's tires are just that much better, though, I think. He's trying to get enough to clear him. He can't do it. I'm sure the order on the radio from Bradley was do everything you can to hold back that 23. I'm gonna go on board Johnny Rapp here. Let's see Hoppy in the corner of your screen. He's gonna try and get that side draft down the front stretch. Yeah, Johnny's doing, he's doing a really good job there. Holding it down on the outside, but Blake is able to clear him. So Blake Hoppy is in position to get a podium interview here. 7 to go. Let's look at Bechdel. He's trying to make some progress on Jacob Bradley. 0.6 of a second right now. I think Jacob Bradley probably has this race in hand. Looks like Sam Stenner, Corey Harville doing some side-by-side action here with 6 to go. Fighting over the 7th spot. Yeah, Bechdel, I just don't think it's going to be enough. I think he's close, but that gap is not decreasing at the rate that it needs to for him to really have anything for Jacob Bradley. So behind these two guys, you got Troy Nissen, who's 2 laps down. Nathan Gentry's 4 laps down. So they're all effectively out of it, but still chugging along. Bechdel, I think they've been told just to hold station. Although you now have Robert Brobst here. Robert Brobst must have. No, I think they lapped him. So Bechdel's gap to Jacob Bradley is now 0.6. But tell you what, this is a guy who we haven't seen. You know, Cofield sometimes had a shot at Jacob Bradley, but Bechdel, his last 2 races has looked pretty good. He'll definitely be a contender for this championship. Johnny Rapp, Blake Hoppy still continuing to run pretty close. Johnny Rapp now under attack from Devin Jack. So I think Devin Jack might be able to pick up that 4th spot. Everyone else is pretty well spread out by now. But yeah, let's go. We'll check in with Daryl Mays here, who's a pretty solid run. You know, it's not setting the world on fire, but it is definitely not a lap down or 2 laps down. So he's done really good in his return to this series. He had a great run in the trucks. And he's looking really solid here tonight. You know, we're final lap, and he's within 20 seconds of Jacob Bradley, which is nothing to scoff at. So great run for him. Jacob Bradley, Randy Bechdel, Payday Racing, 1-2. dominated this race from the start. They got a 10-second lead over third place. Bechtel closed the gap down to a third of a second, but not going to be enough. Jacob Bradley does it again. He wins in Nashville. Great run for Bandy Bechtel to take home second. And Blake Hoppy, after a rough truck race, takes home third. And Johnny Rapp is able to keep fourth. So it's a Payday Racing 1-2-4. Nearly maximum points. Looks like Daryl Mays may have had a little fun after the green flag here. Yeah, there we go. He's drifting across the finish line. So celebration begins for Payday Racing. Jacob Bradley 1-2-4. Let's go ahead and bring him in. Jacob Bradley, it's Dustin in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Hey man, congrats on another win. Looked pretty straightforward from here. Anything different in the cockpit, or was that just business as usual for Payday tonight?
Just pretty business as usual for Payday. We had a little bit of strategy in the beginning, just getting me out in front of Randy. We knew I was faster on the short run, and he was faster on the long run. He caught me there at the end, and I short pit just to try and drive like he did, and it looked like it worked.
So I wasn't able to get who the pole position was. Was Payday on the pole for this race?
Yes, Randy got the pole.
Randy got the pole, okay. And then, so I tuned in, I think it was like about lap 50 or something like that. Or actually it was probably lap 30. Did you overtake him quickly, or was that later on in the run?
Yeah, it was probably lap 2.
Okay.
As I said, we were trying to get it sorted out early, just so that I could start pulling away with him. He was just gonna kind of stay close to me because he knew he was gonna be better at saving tires, and then I just tried to take a little bit of a page out of his book and save a lot of tires from a big lead, and I was just able to have enough lead there at the end to save his tires.
So finally getting your first win of the season. I think it came way too late at the third race. It's very late for you. I assume this will probably be another Payday dominated season, but it's good to see Randy up there. It looks like he's got, as much speed as anyone we've seen in this series in terms of being close to you. Should we expect him to be up there all season?
Yeah, he's gonna be one of the ones that'll challenge and even beat me on occasion. And he won last week at Atlanta. Me and I think Justin Wilson, we had some problems, and they kind of set us deep in the field, and Randy drove away with it. So he's already got a win on the season, and I expect more from him.
I was going to say a 1-2-4. Johnny was holding third place for a long time there. Blake, did his long first stint and was able to use that tire advantage at the end. But overall, great day for Payday Racing. Another win for you guys. So that's awesome. Looking at the schedule here, so we go to IRP next week and then Gateway. I know you were pretty good at Gateway last year. Lucas Oil, is that one of your tracks as well?
Yeah, I'm excited to do pretty good there. I have a lot of experience since I work at the track in real life.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So hopefully we can take a win back and be able to celebrate at the actual track.
Oh, sounds good, man. You got anyone you want to give a shout out to out there?
Yeah, I want to thank my parents for watching per usual, and thank Payday Racing because great team. Can't ask for anybody better to be with me.
All right. Well, hey, man. Good luck at IRP, and we'll see you in the next one. Okay.
Catch you later.
Hey, man. All right. So we're gonna move him, and we're gonna move in Mr. Randy Bechtel. Mr. Bechtel. This is Dust up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
P2. How you feeling, man? Looked like it was gonna be a winning run for you for a lot of that race, but just kind of ran out of tire, I guess, at the end there, right?
I I think if it was a little bit longer, might have got to Jacob. Uh, he was burning up his right rail a bit more than me, so uh, then I felt like when I caught those what was it Gentry and Jacob there, it's like I felt like there was a whole bubble that just I just about a second back where I couldn't just break. So I don't know if that helped Jacob get there, but hey, still a good finish overall.
Yeah, no, great night for payday racing. It looked like a 1-2-3 for a while. It ended up being 1-2-4. It's kind of something we've unfortunately been getting used to in this series is payday dominating. So you're in a good spot. You have a win on the season already. You got a second place. So I think that keep hammering those finishes out. You'll definitely be in the driver's seat for the championship. Looking forward to Lucas Oil and Gateway. How do you think you'll fare in those?
I'm not the biggest fan of IRP, so it's just something about the ARCA car there and how you have to drive it. It doesn't really suit my style, so I, I'm just looking to not wreck. And Gateway, probably about the same thing. It's a unique track. I usually do better at the unique ones instead of the cookie cutters, so might do okay there. Mostly just trying to stay out of trouble for both of them.
Alrighty, you got anyone you want to give a shout out to out there who might be listening?
Uh, all the payday guys, if they're paying attention, if they're watching or not. All the backmarkers admins for running backmarkers, and of course you for running the broadcast tonight.
Oh, you're very welcome anytime. I see you have the SHH shifter on your car. I'm actually holding my SHH shifter right now. That is a fine product. Are you actually sponsored by them, or do you just promote the use of their shifter?
I just promote it. I've had it for about a year now, and it's worked a lot better than the Logitech base one. So
Yeah, it's a nice piece of kit for being. I think what mine was like $130 shipped or something like that. Super cheap, but it definitely. Having owned several manual cars over the years, it's a fun accessory to have in this series.
definitely.
So. Well, hey, great job tonight. You had a great run, and I think that you'll be a shoe in for this championship. Hopefully, get a few more good breaks, keep qualifying well, and you'll be right up there. So we appreciate you racing with us, and we'll see you in the next one. All right?
And thank you guys. Have a great rest of your evening.
I mean, you too. Let's just see if we could find Blake Hoppy, but I don't think he's here, unfortunately. So if he's not here, that means we have to go to P4, which is Mr. Johnny Rapp. Let's see if he is here. He is not here. We'll keep going down the order then. Devin Jack, here we go. Hey Devin, it's Dustin up in the booth. You got me?
Oh yeah, I got you.
Well, third and fourth have bailed on us already, so you're the next in line for the interview. How'd your race go, man?
I had good pace at the start, but I blew through turn one. I don't know how many times, and that just continued to do my right front in. I couldn't find an entry there that I liked.
Yeah, so I mean, I noticed early in the race you were running P3, I think, until the pit stops, and then you decided to long pit, I guess, hoping for a caution, which apparently now is never going to happen in any of the backmarker series because we all run caution free now. Which, while great, it's nice to not be running caution a third of the time. It's much less entertaining. So I don't know if they'll have to make a rule to maybe at the midway point in these races throw a caution if there hasn't been one, just to spice things up a little bit. But you had
Yeah,
a
time to introduce stage racing.
Yeah, or competition caution, so that there is some competition versus just watching Jacob and now Randy run away with it. Um, so you came out, I think in like 10th or something like that, or 11th. I forget the position you came out in at, and then worked your way all the way back up to 5th. You had a good battle with Johnny there at the end. Um, was the traffic hard to get through? Do you feel like your pit strategy was the right call, or was there more you could
Uh,
have done?
no, the pit strategy. I was just trying to run the fuel out because I was assuming if everyone was going to duck in when they did, 10 extra laps would have helped there at the end. Would have had a bit better tires, but for some reason after that pit, I had a worse time in turn one than I did in the first 50 or 60 laps. I couldn't find the speed I had in the first stint, and well, it wasn't so bad with the traffic, but I just couldn't find the speed that I had to start. So I got stuck side by side with Blake a few times. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, I saw the battle with you and Blake. You both were trying to move your way up through the field, so that was really good. Any thoughts for the race coming up at Lucas Oil and Gateway?
Those two tracks I like a lot, so I'm excited for them. I'm not sure if I'm going to miss either of them yet because I haven't looked where they sit in the schedule compared to where I work, but those two tracks I like a lot. Well, IRP is fun because you're, well, high line dominant track where dive bombs are expected and slide jobs are what gets the job done half the time when you're late in a run. And judging by the way these are going, we're going to get a lot of green runs. And Gateway is just fun because of the asymmetrical nature of the track. It was a lot of fun on the trucks last season, so I can't imagine ARCA is going to be any different.
Yeah, plus Gateway's got the shifting. I probably in the ARCA car as well, right?
Oh yeah, there's no way you can go there without shifting.
Yeah, yeah. So that'll add an element to it. Well, hey man, great run. Anyone you want to give a shout out to out there?
Dumpster fire racing. I was going to say a series sponsor, but we're lacking that right now.
Yeah, we'll get
So,
there. We got some work to do.
Nathan and Dumpster Fire for keeping the team together and keeping the cars in decent shape. This season we actually have all of them competitive instead of one competitive truck and the rest of us in the middle of the field.
Excellent. All right, man. Well, hey, have a good night. Thanks for joining me in the booth here, and we'll see you in the next one. All right.
Oh, you too.
All
Thanks
right.
for having me up.
Yep. Have a good night. All right, and with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up here. Jacob Bradley, Randy Bechtel, Blake Hoppy, your top three. Another win for Payday Racing. And we'll see you next week, possibly for a broadcast, possibly not. We'll just stay tuned to the Backmarkers Racing League YouTube channel or our Facebook page, facebook.com/Backmarkers Racing. You get all the info there. Want to wish everyone a good night, and we'll see you in the next one.